What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Mode Studios with another weekly leveling up episode. And on today's leveling up session, I'm answering a question that one of our listeners, actually a couple of our listeners, submitted that I wanted to answer on today's show, and it has to do with my personal schedule. The questions or the question I would say that I'm going to be answering today, and again, got a couple different variations of the same question, but it's how have you adjusted your daily routine due to the lockdowns that we're all experiencing right now with COVID-19. And then he follows this up with, it seems to me that you haven't missed a beat despite all the changes taken place. So amazing question. I'm going to go in depth here because the reality is all of our lives have been disrupted through COVID-19, through the coronavirus. And I believe that are going to continue to see new changes, new disruptions, right? So it's not that I haven't seen disruptions, right? It is how I'm being proactive to these disruptions, which I'll break down here in detail. But real quick, before I jump into this, if you guys have a question that you'd like me to answer here live on the show, make sure to shoot me an email at questions@gsdmode.com. Also, if you're a real estate professional, so if you're a real estate agent, team leader, brokerage owner, and you are looking to take your real estate game to the next level and want to be personally mentored and coached by me for the next 12 months, make sure to check out masterybootcamp.com, where you can learn more about my coaching and mentorship year-long program, what it entails. You can see successes and testimonials from thousands of others that have been through this program. You can book a 100% zero pressure discovery call to get all your questions answered to see if this is a fit for you. So again, if you want to be coached and mentored by me for the next 12 months of your life and take your real estate business to the next level, make sure to check out masterybootcamp.com. All right, so again, you guys, we are here to talk about my daily routine. So again, just to reiterate the question, it's how much is your daily, how have you adjusted your daily routine due to lockdowns? It seems that you haven't missed a beat despite of all the changes taking place. So, and again, as I mentioned a moment ago, dude, just like all of us, man, we are experiencing disruptions. We are experiencing changes. But here's the reality, man, is yeah, I mean, we're forced to change right now because of the coronavirus that's taking place. But even if we take this out of the mix, change is inevitable. You know, if you look at just your human body, you know, right? Every 7 years, you essentially have an entire new body. And why is that happening? Because cells are dying and being reborn consistently. You know, we have billions, if not trillions of cells in the body that are always dying off, being regenerated. So everything change is inevitable. We are changing as human beings each and every day. The market's changing, life's changing, different stages of our life changes. You know, my daily routine was a lot different before I had kids, before I got married. I got married, it changed. I had kids, it changed. As I added new businesses, it changed, right? So you know, the first thing is being open to change, not letting change get you down. Because at the end of the day, it's he or she that adapts to change most effectively as well as in the quickest manner will be the ones that come out victorious in any aspects of our life. So here's what I do, and I'll speak very specific to my daily routine and during the COVID-19 crisis and the things that are taking place right now, is I have not let my goals change. My goals are the same. So my goals, I don't care that this whole COVID-19 is taking place. Now, it sucks that it's taking place, but I'm not going the fact that this is taking place to change and adjust my goals, right? So it's just a wrench that's kind of thrown in the mix where I've had to adapt, to shift and change like everybody else has had to, but I don't let my goals be deterred because of this thing. So that's number one, right? So then I'm able to ask myself, okay, based on today's landscape, based on what's going on, if I still have the same goals, what must I do to adapt, shift, change? What must I do to take action on? What do I need to take action on to go out there and have those same goals become a reality? So when I'm speaking of daily routine, and you know, I don't know if this question is around my morning routine, all out day routine, and so forth. Now, here's the first thing, because we have, you know, our whole daily routines, our morning routines, all this have been disrupted. So the first thing is dealing in realities and understanding, having full awareness to the implications of what's going on and the blowback of this. So the first thing that I did is when I learned about this. Now I was traveling. I was in a mastermind with a mentor of mine. The week that Trump shut down the economy, if you will, instituted the quarantine. That's a better way to state it, maybe. I was gone. I was out of town. I didn't have awareness of this until like Sunday evening. Right? Got a full spectrum saw the full spectrum of what was taking place. The first thing I did that Monday morning when I got back in town from LA was I had to have a real conversation with my family. Look, you guys, this is what's taking place. You're not going to see me much for some time. I got to get to work. I'm going to have to triple down. I'm going to have to work more hours. I'm going to be more focused, work more hours, and take more action than I ever have in my life. So then that we can be taken care of as a family, right? But then also not just to survive, but to massively thrive through this. I am truly committed, and I truly believe that my companies will grow tenfold through this crisis when all this is said and done. And I believe that this is going to have a negative implication on our economy for years to come, right? So I know that in order for me to thrive during a crisis, I have to be doing the opposite of what my competitors are doing, right? So my competitors are just chillaxing when they're burying their head in the sand. They're getting caught up with media, operating from a place of scarcity, operating from a place of fear. I got to be doing the opposite, right? I got to stay positive. I got to make sure I'm not watching media. I got to restrict and eliminate any and all distractions, right? One blessing that we have going through this time, which I hate to even say that there's a blessing going through Corona-19 or the COVID-19 coronavirus here, because there are so many people being hurt in a negative way with this. But I truly believe that there's good things that can come out of any circumstance or any situation, right? One of the blessings and one of the things I'm taking advantage of is the lack of social life. Like, none of us have a social life right now, with the quarantine. So I'm making sure to invest my time more wisely. So I'm doubling, if not tripling down on my self-development, my actual activities inside each of my business during the day. Also, I'm being more intentional with my meditation, with my breath work, with my daily planning and reflection to make sure I'm able to get the most productivity out of myself as I possibly can. So the things that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis haven't necessarily changed. With my daily planning, daily reflection, and so forth, which I've broken down in many other leveling ups, those things haven't changed, right? I'm just more focused at doing them and more focused at following them on a much stricter with more intentionality and much more discipline at following those each and every day, right? Because right now is the time to be in action, right? Like, we've got to be taking the right actions. We got to be intentional. We've got to be smart. So removing the media, removing wasted time, all of those things. I'm making sure to restrict those things because I need to make more room. I'm even restricting my time with my family right now, which sucks. It sucks for all of us, but it's what I know I need to do right now in order to go out there and create more opportunities for my family and make sure that we get out of this, not just get out of this alive, because I want to make, of course, survive. We all want to be able to survive this. But I also want to make sure that we're thriving and being able to capitalize on these opportunities, right? But the only way to be able to see opportunities is to be clear-minded, right? This is why I'm restricting media, not allowing myself to go there, right? This is why I'm restricting negative conversations. I'm restricting my exposure to negative people out there, meaning eliminating that, right? And making room so I can be closer to my mentors during this time. I'm making more room so I can take the actions I need to take. I'm making more room so I can self-develop. I can work on my systems at a higher level and be in action and so forth, right? So everything's a trade-off, man. You're trading, like, you want to add something to your plate, you got to remove something. So I'm being very intentional and strict with those, right? Then when it comes to my morning routine, I am getting up earlier now than I was before this. I've always been a pretty early AM guy, waking up about 3 a.m. Now I'm waking up around 1:30 or 2 a.m. So I have those extra hours of getting stuff done while my kids are asleep, while the rest of the world is asleep. Because look, I've got 3 kids, and the days that I'm working from home, now I'm able to still go work at my office, and I'm taking advantage of that. So my office is still open for business. right? Where agents are still coming in here. We have private offices, so we're still able to practice social distancing, while we're here at the office. Our staff is working virtually, so office is kind of semi-open, semi-closed, right? But I need to have that space to be able to work, to be able to not be distracted by my kids and my family and everybody being at home, like they are during these times. And I get that not everybody can do that and is not in a blessed situation like I am. Look, I'm very blessed. I've worked a lot of years, worked really hard, so then that my wife is able to stay home with our kids, and that's of course is her choice. I'm not one that mandates that. That's her choice to do that. But it allows me to be able to go to the office while she makes sure that the kids are taken care of, all that stuff's taken care of, while I can come to the office and take care of business, right? But if I were having to be at home during these times, I would make sure to be very structured with my work environment. I would make sure to communicate with my family of when they can and when they can't interrupt me, right? How quiet I need it, because there's a lot of times I still do trainings, webinars, and there's many days where I still work from home. And during those times, like my kids know when let's just say I'm doing follow-ups, when I'm doing work stuff, when I'm doing webinars, when I'm having consultations, they know that they can't come downstairs. They know to whisper, be quiet, right? And our youngest is 7, so they get that and understand that now. But I'd be very intentional with my workspace. So when I am working from home, I have a separated, it's in the house, but I have a home office space. So I'm not working like out of my living room or on my kitchen table. So I've dedicated that space. And I set up those parameters as much as I possibly can. But I also, even though I'm able to escape to my office, right, and stay focused and get things done in the office, I'm waking up earlier so I can make more time for my meditation, make more time for my breath work, make more time, for my additional self-development that I'm adding to my plate right now. Because right now, you guys, when we can't work in the business, we got as much, we got to work on the business. So right now, hopefully all of you are doubling down on adding skill sets, adding tool sets. So like right now, I'm studying a lot on YouTube and social media in different ways where I'm able to enhance those and massively grow those during these times and going forward. So I'm not just taking action on the shit I got to get done right now and doing the minimum. I'm doing the opposite of that. I'm doubling down on my activities, but I'm also doubling down on the new skill sets that I'm learning that allow me and will allow me to continue to grow my business, continue to grow my brand, and so forth, right? So having that extra 3, 4, 5 hours in the morning before the family gets up and is really active, I get so much done during that time. Then when it comes to my health routines, look, I will say this, and I appreciate the kind words of you look like you haven't skipped a beat. The reality is I have, right? My diet suffered through this, right? When I'm working from home more and there's more things at the house to eat, I'm like, I definitely haven't been as disciplined on my diet as I was prior to this. And that's something that I'm actively working on, but the first thing for us was, okay, the gym's closed down. Right? So what do we do there? The gym closed down. That's just an obstacle I must now overcome, right? Now it was difficult to get gym equipment, but I found gym equipment, but it took about a week and a half to get here. So during that week and a half time, right, I didn't want to waste that time. I want to use it proactively. So I was like, all right, well, I've been kind of on a bulk up mode, wanting to put on some muscle and put on some weight. And I was like, this is just an excuse and a reason now for me to get more into my cutting mode. So I fasted, that not for 10 days straight, but I intermittent fasted for 20 hours each day of that 7 days that I couldn't resistance train until my weights got there, right? Then I had to clear out space for that. So I was being proactive while we were waiting for the equipment to get there, started clearing out a place in the garage while we could set up our home gym. But again, we have a routine, right? So every single morning, like my breakfast, my pre-workout meals at the same time every day, right? Go up there and wake up my wife at 5:30 a.m. so she has time to get up and get down. We start working out every single morning, Monday through Friday. We're working out at 6 a.m. in our home gym, just like we would if we were driving to the gym, and so forth. So, we're having to adapt maybe of how we were doing these specific things, but we still set it on the calendar and are intentional with following that calendar each and every day. And you got to just be proactive with this stuff, man. There's no reason why your routine needs to get thrown off. It just may look a little different than what it was before these times, right? But to be proactive and to embrace change, it's a mindset thing, right? It's just the understanding that life is always changing. Situations are always changing. Love it. Learn to love it. Don't be afraid of change. Learn to love it. Embrace it. Be proactive with your planning, right? Then every single day, planning, reflecting, right? Making sure these things happen. Make sure that you're restricting the things that you don't need in your life, that aren't being productive for you, that aren't getting the next step of where you want to be in your life, and making room for the things that are taking place, right? So just remove the whole why, why is this happening? Oh, I can't wait till this ends, right? So we can get back to life as normal. I don't operate in that way. Right? Number one, I pretend that, okay, man, what if this is the new normal? What if this is what our lives are going to be like for the next 2 years? Let's just say like this is the new normal, right? No, I don't believe that's going to be the case, but that's just where my planning goes and how I look at with my planning. So let's just assume this is the new normal, right? What can we do proactively to still get the things done in our daily routines and get the work done and so forth that we need to get done to move the needle forward and still accomplish our goals? Because remember, I am not lowering my goals because this shit happened. And look, guys, I have 6 different companies right now, and I have companies that have been affected negatively by this, that have been hit hard by this, right? So we're having to approach each and every day. What can we do now today to grow? What can we do now today to move the needle forward, right? Not this shoulda, woulda, coulda bullshit, right? Being proactive. So then that way we can stay in action mode, stay in pivoting, making decisions. And sometimes those decisions are the wrong decisions. Sometimes they're the right ones, right? But each and every day, man, just taking the right action. We need to be in action right now. And if you do this and you're proactive with this, there's no reason that your routines should suffer, right? And hopefully that gives you some clarity around that. And hopefully this was helpful to you. And again, if you guys have any questions that you'd like me to answer here on these leveling up episodes on how you can level up in your business and your life to the next area, make sure to shoot me an email, questions@gsdmode.com. And also, if you're looking to maybe potentially learn more and hop into my mentorship and coaching program for real estate professionals, check out masterybootcamp.com. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Keep kicking ass, keep up the amazing work, and I will see you next time. Peace.